This is part 29, my preparation for exam NSE4 Fortinet. This is part of FortiGate infrastructure, high availability, HA. FortiGate high availability provides a solution for enhanced reliability and increased performance. HA operation modes. The idea of high availability is simple. High availability links and synchronizes 2 or 4 FortiGate devices to form a cluster for redundancy and for performance purposes. A cluster includes one device that acts as a primary FortiGate, also called active FortiGate. The primary synchronizes its configuration, session information, FIB entries, and FortiGuard definitions and other operation-related information to the secondary devices, which are also known as standby devices. The cluster shares one or more heartbeat interfaces among all devices, also known as members, for synchronizing data and monitoring the health of each other, monitoring health of each member. There are currently 2 high availability operation modes available. First mode is AA mode, active-active. Second mode is AP mode, active-passive. Active-passive operation mode of high availability. First, let's take a look at active-passive mode. In either of 2 HA operation modes, the operation information, such as configuration, sessions, FIB, which are forwarding information base. FIB is similar to routing table generated by multiple routing protocols, main routing table, and the table used for packet forwarding. If there is no match in any of those tables, FortiGate drops the packet, as it is unroutable. The operation information consists of configurations, sessions, FIB entries. FIB stands for forwarding information base entries of the primary FortiGate, and it is synchronized with secondary devices, members or standby devices. In active-passive mode, the primary FortiGate is the only FortiGate that actively processes traffic. Secondary FortiGate devices remain passive in passive mode, and they are monitoring the status of the primary device. If a problem is detected on the primary FortiGate, one of the secondary devices takes over the primary role. This event is called HA failover, high availability failover. Let's go to active mode. Like active-passive HA. In active-active HA, operation-related data of the primary FortiGate is synchronized to the secondary FortiGate devices. Also, if a problem is detected on the primary device, one of the secondary devices takes over the role of the primary to process the traffic. However, one of the main differences from active-passive mode is that in active-active mode, all cluster members can process the traffic. That is based on HA settings and traffic type. The primary FortiGate can distribute sessions to the secondary devices. FortiGate Clustering Protocol. FortiGate Clustering Protocol is abbreviation FGCP. FortiGate HA uses the proprietary Fortinet FortiGate Clustering Protocol FGCP to discover members, to elect the primary, to synchronize data among members, and fourth, to monitor the health of the members. To discover and monitor members, the broadcast heartbeat packets offer all configured heartbeat interfaces. If the cluster operates in network address translation mode, then heartbeat frames are type 8890. In transparent mode, the heartbeat frames are type 8891. If the cluster operating in active mode, then the first packet of the session is distributed to the secondary and it is encapsulated in the Ethernet frames type 8891. The members also exchange frames type 8893 for data synchronization, local CLI management, and logging purposes. The inner packet can be TCP port 703 or UDP port 703, depending on the data to synchronize. The primary also relays logs and alert emails from secondary devices over TCP port 700. For the local HA management using the CLI, inner packet is SSH. You can configure the cluster to perform HA failover based on the following events. First, dead member. If there is a dead member, the primary FortiGate is unresponsive. Second, failed link. The link of one or more monitored interfaces in the primary FortiGate goes down. Then another FortiGate takes over and there is a HA failover. Event number 3, failed remote link. This is when FortiGate uses the Link Health Monitor feature to monitor the health of one or more interfaces. The primary fails if the accumulated penalty of all failed interfaces reached set threshold. Fourth event is high memory usage. This is when primary fails if its memory utilization reaches the configured threshold. For example, memory utilization is over 80 or 90%. Failed solid-state disk. FortiOS detects a failure in an SSD disk, only available for devices with solid-state drives. Admin triggered. Administrator issues a manual failover. For any of the failover trigger events, the result is that the cluster promotes one of the secondary devices to the new primary FortiGate role. Ethernet types and ports. First, heartbeat. Ethernet types 0 by 8890 in NAT mode. Ethernet type 0 by 8891 in transparent mode. Second, data synchronization, logging command line interface management. Frame, Ethernet type 0 by 8893. Inner packet, TCP port 703 and UDP port 703 for data synchronization. TCP 700 for logging and alert emails. TCP 22 for command line interface management. AA active load balancing. First packet only. Frame, Ethernet type 0 by 8891. Inner packet, original packet, MAC rewrite. HA requirements for high availability. All members must have the same. First, firmware version. Second, all members should have the same model. Third requirement, licensing. There are different types of licensing such as FortiGuard license, VDOM license, and FortiClient license. And if there are differences in licensing, then the cluster uses lowest level licenses. 4. Hard drive configuration. So it depends of the size of drivers and partitions. 5. Operating mode. Management VDOM, virtual domain. NAT mode or transparent mode. If the licensing level among members isn't the same, the cluster resolves to use the lowest licensing level among all the members. For example, if you purchase web filtering FortiGuard for only one of the members in the cluster, then none of the members will support FortiGuard. Web filtering if they form a cluster. From configuration and setup point of view, you must also make sure that for the setup, the HA settings on each member have the same group ID, group name, the same password, and the same heartbeat interface settings. The heartbeat interfaces on each member can see each other. This usually placing all heartbeat interfaces in the same broadcast domain for only two member clusters, connecting them directly. Thank you.